I'm Buster Paws. Welcome to Ranch Dogs. And on this episode, we headed up to northern Arizona to visit with Molly and Mary Wisecarver.
Hello, my name is Mary Wisecarver. Our ranch is in Williams, Arizona. It is 150 acres, and we've been here for about 3 years. Our ranch is called M Stockdogs and M Acres. I compete. I'm a born competitor. I competed in horses. I competed in track when I was in school. As a competitor, I get up every morning. I get working my animals, whichever animal it might be, a horse or a dog. Come on, guys. Then we have our what we call go-to dogs, and those are the dogs that we grab first to get the livestock maybe sorted. Away. There. Steady, steady, good. Not only are they working dogs for us, but they're our pets. And people think just because all of my dogs don't live in the house that they're not loved and cared for, but every single dog on this property has a beautiful kennel if they're not in the house. My favorite is probably Odin, the big white giant, and his playmate, Jack. They're natural guardian dogs, and they go to work the minute that they're born. They stay with the flock, they protect the flock. At the end of the day, they're probably our most important dog on the property. They're one of the few dogs that are really still bred to do a specific job. And they're hard to train as far as a pet. They don't travel well, they don't sit, they don't come when you call them. They don't fit well into a condensed area. One, they're a large dog. So if you get one and you only live in a postage stamp home, in a typical track home, they want out. They're looking for something to guard. They are escape artists. They can go over, they can go under, they can go through. Lulu was a runner, so that's how Lulu came to me. I hate to say she was a rescue, but at the end of the day, we took her in here to our ranch. Jack was not guarding their livestock properly because they didn't have things set up at their home properly. Odin was in a very small section of a home in LA on a hobby farm, and he wasn't happy. Therefore, if he's not happy, the owners aren't happy. So that's how we acquired all three of ours. I hate to say this phrase, but they're a dime a dozen, and people are adopting them, and they're not aware of the dogs they're adopting and how to manage and control the dogs that they're adopting. So they're reaching out to all the ranches and the farms to take in these dogs later in life. We have several belted Galloway cattle. I've only had them since February. So that would be maybe 4 months that we've had them total. It's been quite an experience to get them. I did have to drive to Texas, 2 days there, a day staying there, and 2 days back in order to get a large herd of them. I could buy one in Yuma, I could buy one in Tucson, I could buy one in Kingman, but I chose to make one big trip. I bought 26 of them and brought them here. I love the look of the belted Galloway first and foremost, and that's what drew me to them. After a while, since we've had them, they're calm, they're easy to manage. I've had Black Angus most of my herding career. We did accumulate the cattle to use them specifically for the dogs and for training and for events. I like the size of the belteds that I chose. They come in 4 different sizes. They have a micro mini, they have the mini, which is what I have. Few of mine might fall into the micro size. They have a mid size, and then they have the standard size. There's a few standards here in Arizona, but as far as Arizona, it is not a common breed to have. They still love the Angus, which is a wonderful cattle, don't get me wrong. But I heard, and I can't wait to find out, that the belted Galloway actually have the best beef. So I'll keep you posted on that one. The Wild Mustangs came to us back in December, I believe, of '23, and they've been one of the most amazing adventures that we have had here. I've learned so much from the wild horses, from the way that they get along in their herd, who's in charge, who's at the bottom of it, how they heal naturally. They're just spectacular to watch. So the phone call came in as an emergency, and they had 13 wild horses that they needed to place immediately. It was the very first roundup in the Alpine Sitgrave National Forest. So the phone call came to me, and I felt that there was a purpose for me to bring them into our ranch. And it was a hardship at first, it really was. I knew nothing about managing that many horses at one time. We had a young one that came in that wasn't feeling well, and because they're wild, we can't touch them, we can't doctor them, we can't help them. So it was a learning process to watch them in their own dynamics and their own herd to take care of each other, and they truly, truly take care of each other. 3 of the mares came in pregnant. They already had yearlings on them and 2-year-olds. So the band, which I learned the difference between what a band and what a herd is, within a herd, you have bands. So in the Sitgrave forests, they had a large herd with small bands. And Eager's band was the first one to have been rounded up, and a rescue called me. And because there were stallions and bachelors in it, I was one of the few places that was able to house them and care for them. And I would do it 100 times over. So they do have boundaries on our property, which would be 5 rails of barbed wire. And that really truly would not hold any wild horse if pressure was put on them. And the first year, when they first came in, it was in the winter, and it was a hard winter here in Arizona. We actually had 3 feet of snow for over a month. So we had to feed them. We had to bring in grass hay first, because they're used to grazing on grass, whereas alfalfa can be a very strong feed and can make them sick. So we had to bring in a special kind of grass feed for them. Then, and every day we fed them, every day we watered them, and their waters would freeze because we were in the dead of winter. And it was really cool to watch them break the ice in the water troughs with their feet, to break it so they could drink. And here I am with domestic horses, and so worried that they wouldn't have any water to drink over the winter or any food to eat over the winter, as that's how I've always cared for my horses. To watch them tend and care for themselves is just, I hate to keep using the word amazing, but it was just amazing.
Did you know that Arizona's known for the 5 C's? Cactus, cotton, citrus, copper, and nope, the 5th one ain't cats. It's climate. Speaking of climate, it sure was nice heading up to northern Arizona during the summer, where the nights and the mornings still get a little chilly.
We're aiming to get them to the cone. These are farm flock. Once they know the pattern that there's hay out there, they're gonna come out of those chutes. The competition that we're gonna be holding at the end of the month, which is a sanctioned USBCHA trial, which stands for the United States Border Collie Handlers Association. And this particular trial is really for the big dogs, and it's a field competition. People from, I would say for this particular location, will come from the tri-states. We'll have them from New Mexico, definitely California, maybe Utah and Colorado. As far as this particular sanctioning goes, this will maybe be on the smaller side with 50 dogs running in a day. It's a field competition, and they can hold them in smaller areas, but they tend to be in the larger area where the sheep will be set out, at my location, will be set out about 300 yards away from where the handler is. The handler stands at a handler's post. He'll send the dog to the left or the right. He'll pick up the livestock from 300 yards, sometimes 600 yards away, and bring them to their feet around a post, which was the orange cone they were standing at, drive them approximately 200 yards away, and then drive them another 200 yards on a cross drive, bring them back, put them in a pen, take them out of the pen, and then do a shed. And if we've all watched the movie Babe, we all know that Babe, the pig, walked into the round ring that was marked and says, "Ladies with the red collars, will you please step out of the ring?" Well, it's not really that easy with a working dog, but that's still the same thing, is we have to take the marked sheep or required sheep out of a ring, hold them for a short amount of time, and put them back together, and then our run is done. And we're only allowed about 10 minutes a run, which means we really have to push the stock through the course, but yet not run them through the course, because the theory is taking them to market.
I'm Bill Wilder. I'm from Laguna Hills, California, and this trial is about a 7-hour drive for us. And come out here to run my dog, Spike, and he's a 6-year-old pure Border Collie. And we wanted to get out here and get in some new fields and different sheep, and so he can get used to more things in his repertoire. He is a goose dog, or sometimes they call it duck dog, and I bought him for that purpose. I have a business in Southern California and LA and Orange County to get rid of geese off of golf courses, cemeteries, business complexes, anything with a water feature. And it's a humane way to move these geese off of people's properties, because they aren't trying to catch the geese, they're just trying to herd them. And that makes the geese skittish, like they're being stalked by a coyote or a wolf or something, and they'll fly off. And over time, the geese will get tired of being chased off, and they'll just find another place. There's plenty of reservoirs and ponds and things for them to go to that would be more appropriate for them to be in. But they go deep into your heart when you start working with them that long, that much of the time. You know that they're feeling what you're feeling. When I go to the post at a trial, he knows he's at a trial. He knew when we were leaving the hotel today that he was at a trial, because things are different. And so he comes here, he senses my nervousness. He picks up, animals pick that up much better than humans do. Once I saw a Border Collie work, I thought, I need to do that. And I stopped doing the job that I was doing and started my goose dog business to be with Border Collies. And then in training them, of course, I didn't realize how much they can learn. Smartest dog on the planet. They learn very quickly whether you're teaching them the right thing or the wrong thing, and they'll learn it. And so you have to be very careful. They're a very good therapist for you, because you're trying to teach them, and all the stuff that was bottled up inside of you can't come out on them, onto them. And they're sensitive to all that. And so you learn how to heal yourself before you can really understand the dog. And it's been a very special process, and wouldn't trade it for the world. Molly loves the animals and the dogs and this beautiful area, and then has allowed us to come here and run our dogs in a competition, which I think is a great thing to do. Here we're at altitude, and be cooler than Arizona, further south where it's 112. It's in the 70s here, and so it's a beautiful location. It's a beautiful scenery, and I think she'll build this into a big event over the next couple of years.
Double M Stockdogs. The double M stands for Molly and Mary Alice. Mary Alice is my daughter, and she was born into this business. She's everything to me, and not just as a daughter, but everything as far as the operation. She loves what we do, and I'm just really glad she came back to it as she got a little older.
My mom means everything to me in this industry, because she's the start of all of it, for me anyways. She started while I was still in the womb, actually. So I was born into this, and she helped me throughout my career. So I think my first actual competition was at 5 years old, and she was in the background directing the dog while I kind of waddled my way through the course. And then at 8 years old, I was a little more competitive, and she taught me how to be so. Yeah, I went to Florida, got a communications degree, but there's something that always brings you back to the ranch, I think, and definitely this place that we have here. It's hard to leave and it's hard to stay away. So I will be taking over once that's necessary. I think my mom will probably be doing this until she can no longer move. But until that day, I'll always be here and I'll always help her how she needs. And with the future, well, I just hope we get to keep doing what we love here. I'm Mary Wisecarver, and from M Stockdogs, I absolutely love my ranch dogs.
Thanks again for hanging out with us. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and become a ranch dog for life. See you next time.
My name is Addie Smerschel. I'm from Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm a rainer at SMU, and my ranch dog is a French bulldog named Biggie. Living in the dorm was not very fun. I mean, you can't have dogs. I wish I could have Biggie there. I really enjoy having him at college with me. I think my dad is my biggest role model. He's taught me everything I know with the horses. He's definitely someone I look up to, and he inspires me to be better and ride better, and he's been there for me since day one. He means a lot to me.